Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What kind of slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you for Sunday, July 27th. This is Bettor Off Dead. Maybe I indeed am better off dead. Yesterday on the show went 1-1, and it was a break-even day, at least at the prices that I had out there. The even money on each of them. The Yankees was a total bust, which I'm not too sad about that because Yankees suck. Fuck the Yankees. So, if I'm going to take a loss on anything, I'm glad it's something like that. Although, of course, as I point out, I'm not actually betting these, so I'm giving them out as if I were. And then we did get the under correct in Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, which maybe I should have gone first 5 innings on that instead, because first 5 innings, it was scoreless. 0 runs in the first 5 innings. I thought the bullpens were okay enough to get it done, and they were, but it got a little bit close at the end because Cincinnati padded their score with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. So then it got a little bit dicey. You had to hope that Cincinnati was able to hold Tampa Bay pretty much off the board in the last inning there. Because otherwise, if Tampa Bay had scored 1 run, it would have pushed instead of been a winner. So luckily, Tampa Bay did not score in the top of the 9th. And then because Cincinnati was winning, they did not bat in the bottom of the 9th. So that was it. Landed 8. So the under 9 was a winner on that one. We move on to today. I mostly like unders today the best, to be honest. I have 3 games where I like the under. 2 of them I like it more in the first 5 innings, and only 1 of them I'm going to elevate to a play, and it is going to be, well, you already know what it is because it's in the title. So it's a full game under in baseball. I think it's actually it's the strongest play on the board, man, in my opinion. And let's get into it. We do have WNBA. WNBA plays a lot of games on Sunday, man, because it's a blasphemous leagues, just like the NFL. They just play on Sunday for whatever reason. I'm not really interested in any of these games, man, but they do start this afternoon, and they get all this top billing. You get CBS Sports playing one of these games or airing it. You get the Caitlin Clark-less Fever up against Angel Reese. Is anybody really going to want to watch that game? That's on ESPN Plus and ABC. I mean, really. And then you get baseball is getting demoted down to like, who even knows, man? It baffles me, dude, that it's baseball season. Baseball's still one of the major sports, even though I hate the rule changes. You flip on ESPN and they're like, nah, we're not airing baseball. Only the ESPN night games. No, we're going to air re-airs of the ESPYs. We're going to air, I don't know, the World Series of softball or something. Little League softball. Is that I think that was what was on the other day. And whatever other crap. I think yesterday ESPN had Banana Ball on. It's crazy, dude. At least that's somewhat entertaining. Anyway, Golden State at Connecticut. I mean, this game, I don't even know what to say about this game. It's not even interesting at all, man. Connecticut, they're easily the worst team in the WNBA. They have 3 wins on the entire season, 4 straight losses. Some of these games at least somewhat close, but I don't even know if I wouldn't even put much trust into Connecticut in any spot, really. Golden State is at least coming off a win against Dallas, who's not a very good team either, to break a loss streak that they had. As Golden State actually was playing surprisingly well for like an expansion team or whatever they are. The line is down from 6.5 to 5, though, here with Golden State. I'm not even sure that I agree with that, to be honest, but that is the way that the line has moved. I don't really see an angle on that game at all. Indiana, as I mentioned, originally it looked like Caitlin Clark might be back in this game. And you know me, when you have a long absence from a star player like Caitlin Clark, I'd be looking to fade Indiana when she does come back, because that star player coming back into the lineup, the line has to adjust for it, and the team has to like adjust their chemistry, man. They play a completely different style with Clark there. So when she does come back, I think Indiana will be in a fade spot, but it looks like she's out until August now, which is crazy. Exactly what the WNBA wants, right? You're gonna have your players beating up Caitlin Clark on the court, even though she's their most popular player, and now she's not playing. Good luck to the WNBA. Chicago is still so bad that even without Caitlin Clark, Indiana is up from 8.5 to a 9-point favorite on the road. Not sure that I would trust Indiana to lay a price like that in this spot. They're coming up beating Vegas without Caitlin Clark. They've been without Caitlin Clark for a while. I mean, that's a decent win for Indiana there against Vegas. They had just come home, and now they're starting another road trip. Going to Chicago. I mean, it's a short trip, though, at least for them. Chicago, I mean, they're one of the lesser teams in the WNBA as well, coming off 3 straight losses. Maybe a bit embarrassed, though, because they got blown out, or 4 straight losses. They got blown out in the last 3. So Chicago might come out with some sense of fire there. I think maybe that line is too high without Clark, but we will find out, of course. Vegas at Dallas. I actually think that taking the points with Dallas might be the best look today. Vegas is at the very least coming off 2 big games against Indiana and Minnesota, but they did lose to Minnesota pretty badly, so maybe they'll come out with some, fire after that, trying to bounce back after losing by 31 points, although Minnesota is very, very good. Vegas is playing a 3rd straight road game, though, so it's not really the greatest situational spot for Vegas here. And how many days are they playing that in? Let me see. They're playing 3 games in 4 days, it looks like, and 4 games in 6 days, actually, all in different cities. And tomorrow it'll be 2 days from now it'll be 5 games in 8 days or whatever. So that is a pretty difficult scheduling spot for Vegas. So I would lean to Dallas for that reason as well. And primarily, I also like Dallas because Beckers is injured. So it's the injured player theory, man. As I just talked about with Clark, with the reverse injured player theory. With Dallas, Beckers did just play in their last game, and now she's hurt. And when you have a star player like that get hurt, the line has to adjust to account for that. So you're going to get extra value potentially on that team with the injured player. But that first game that she's out, they know they have to come out and play with a lot of fire there to try to compensate for her being out. So I think that's the situation that Dallas is in. So I do like the spot for Dallas here. Dallas coming off a loss. They are returning back home from playing 2 games on the road. Not really a long road trip, so I wouldn't say that's like a road trip return spot where they're going to be all distracted or whatever. Might want to bounce back from that loss, too. So I do like Dallas, plus the points there. Vegas down, up from 5.5 to 8.5 now, but that move was because of Beckers being out, I assume. So I would take Dallas. I'm tempted to make that a play. I mean, I think that is the best play to make in the WNBA today, is to take the points with Dallas. Maybe I'll just stay off a little bit, though. Krista, what's up? Yep, it's only you. No Clark is an easy fade. No, I mean, I disagree with that to some extent. When she's been out for a while, though, and they've been playing without her for that long, obviously they're just not as good a team, so you could definitely fade them. No Thornton is also a fade with Golden State. I don't know. I would have to look to see, because like I said, the first game that you're missing a key player like that, you want to actually look to be on that team. But if she's been out for a while, then you don't want to be on that team anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's it lasts that one. Yeah, there's Kayla Thornton there. I mean, she's out for the season though, so I would disagree with you on that. I mean, if this is not her first game out, I don't pay that much attention to the WNBA, but if this is not her first game out, I would disagree with you a little bit on that. I don't necessarily disagree with the Connecticut side though in general, but it wouldn't just be because Thornton is out though. Phoenix is at Washington. Phoenix is up from 6.5 to 7.5 on the road. Washington did play yesterday, so I guess I slightly do agree with that. I mean, it's a tough spot for Washington back-to-back. They did just pull off an upset yesterday against Seattle, who's seemingly playing a lot of low-scoring games recently. I'm pretty surprised that Seattle had such a bad game yesterday, but that looks like a little bit of an outlier to me, so I think fading Washington might make sense here. Phoenix, coming off 3 straight losses, they might want to bounce back from that. It is a second straight road game for them, but not really the worst spot for them, I wouldn't say. So I do probably agree with that line move on Phoenix. And then Atlanta at Minnesota. I think people might look at this game and think, oh, you have 2 good teams here, and you're getting 8 points with Atlanta. To me, it seems like the public might want to jump on Atlanta if they look at this game, thinking that with 2 good teams, the line looks too big. But Minnesota is really good, man. Up from 7 to 8 here. I would probably be leaning to Minnesota in this game. I mean, they just keep rolling, but they might be a little bit feeling maybe too high on themselves after a couple blowout wins here. So I wouldn't quite want to do it, but they do have at least momentum right now. And I think both teams are going to recognize that this is a pretty big game. And Atlanta is coming off winning against Phoenix, but they're playing well, it looks like it's a 6th straight road game, but it's really a 3rd straight road game, I think, out of the All-Star break. They had an All-Star break in there, but, man, Atlanta has not had a home game for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, that's the WNBA breakdown. Again, I still think the best WNBA play to make is Dallas plus the points, though. The Connecticut spot, where's Crystal likes Connecticut? I don't really disagree with that. You're going to one of your favorite breweries to watch the Angels lose. Have fun with that, Andrew. I mean, breweries, dude, I mean, I went sober, but I love going to breweries, dude. Like, I love the craft that goes into making beer, man, and all the different styles that they have. I would go to breweries, absolutely, like, get flights, like, to try a bunch of different types of beer. I would love to do that, man. I would still drink way too much, though, when I did that. So, yeah. But yeah, the Angels, I did call that yesterday. I said they were going to lose that game, even though, dude, the Angels, I think today it's also happening. If you look at the market read, the money is saying to take the Angels, and I disagreed with it yesterday. I don't think I agree with it today either. So it's just, I don't know what else to tell you about that. And Seattle is actually a very good offense on the road. Their offense gets kind of hampered at home because it's a very pitcher-friendly park. But Seattle is actually pretty good on the road. Anyway, let's go to MLB here. We have afternoon games here because it is Sunday, so teams are going to have to travel after they finish these series. Arizona is at Pittsburgh. Both of these games have been shutouts, so this has been a really low-scoring series. Pittsburgh lost the first game 1-0 and then won the second game 2-0 yesterday. You have a bad Arizona bullpen here. Pittsburgh's bullpen, I think, got a little bit more usage yesterday, so I don't love either bullpen here. This is one of the games where I was almost going to give out a play on the first 5-inning under, because if you like the under in this game, I think it's mostly going to be based on the starting pitching matchup. I really would hesitate to, in most cases, I hesitate to play an under involving Arizona's bullpen. I wouldn't really want Pittsburgh's bullpen involved either, so the Valkyries were a mess last night. They didn't play last night, right? Did I get that wrong? I don't know. I would have to look. I thought that Washington was the only team on a back-to-back today. Arizona, Pittsburgh, Zach Gallen is pitching for Arizona. He is not having a good season. 5.58 ERA, 1.37 whip. I mean, his career numbers tell you that he should turn this around, and I think to some extent he has a little bit recently. He's been a little bit better on the road, 5.16 ERA, but he's been getting walloped by the home run ball, man. He's given up 23 home runs this season, pretty much the same home and away, so that's been a huge problem of his. But for his numbers here, I mean, he has a 28-4 strikeout walk ratio this month, which is not bad. So that does tell you that Gallen does have his command back this month. It's just he's allowed 4 home runs. He's allowed 6 runs each in his last 2 games, but he lasted at least 5 innings in both of them, and he still had a 9-3 strikeout walk ratio over those 2 starts. So I don't know that I'm ready to say that those starts were really quite as bad as they looked. Although, yeah, he gave up some hard contact, I guess, so that's bad, but he's stepping down in class a bit to face a really weak Pittsburgh lineup here. He has good numbers against them in 90 at-bats, a 244 average allowed, 671 OPS, 22-11 strikeout walk ratios, too many walks for Gallen there. But overall, I'm kind of expecting him to pitch pretty well in this game, which that's what I was saying. I do lean to an under, perhaps in the first 5 innings in this game. Paul Skeens is pitching for Pittsburgh. I mean, we know everything about Skeens, all right? 1.91 ERA, 0.91 whip on the season, ridiculous. Slightly worse at home with a 2.06 ERA, but doesn't even really matter. I mean, it's Paul Skeens. He has a 27-2 strikeout walk ratio this month and 0.86 whip. The All-Star break didn't even seem to affect him at all, really. I mean, he's just rolling, and he has good numbers against Arizona, even though they have a pretty good offense, even without Naylor there. Paul Skeens has just wrecked them, though, in 26 at-bats, 192 average allowed, 530 OPS, 6-1 strikeout walk ratio. So I'm leaning to the under in this game. First 5 innings, though, as I said, the money looks like it is agreeing with the under, even though it looks like there was an initial move up on the total from 7 to 7.5. But I see 62% of tickets and 78% of cash on the under. Again, I'm agreeing with the under in this game, but in the first 5 innings. And the problem with that is I don't love going under 3.5 in the first 5 innings, man. It's basically 3.5 everywhere. I did see a 4.5 out, or excuse me, not a 4.5. That would be crazy. A 4 out there at one book. I did see a 4 in Massachusetts. I think you had to pay about minus 118, minus 120 for it. I mean, if you see that, I don't disagree with that either. Get that extra half a run there. But that's a lean for me. It's not going to quite be a play just because I do worry about Gallen a little bit. But Skeens, 6 strikeouts. Is that that's his strikeout prop today? I don't think I would want to take Skeens over, man, because I think you're never going to get value on Skeens on a strikeout prop because everybody knows exactly what he is, even though, yes, he does pitch well against Arizona. Problem is, with Skeens, they're limiting his pitch count right now. They're letting him go like 80, 85 pitches per start now because they don't want to burn him out. So you got to really worry about the fact that he might only be in this game for like 5, maybe 6 innings max. They're like not going to let him go the distance here as far as what they've been doing recently. So I would worry about that a little bit, mostly because I think they're going to take him out of the game early. They would if they were like really letting it go. So that's what mostly worries me about that. It's Thornton's second game out. Then yeah, I would definitely agree with you then on that. To look towards Connecticut in that game. Then yeah, that's all right. Good to see you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Where's Krista? Mostly, you're the only one here, man. All right. Oh, and in that game, by the way, for the side, Pittsburgh, I mean, I think you're never going to really get value on Pittsburgh with Paul Skeens pitching. You always get taxed for taking Pittsburgh with Paul Skeens. They opened minus 152. I mean, Pittsburgh is such a bad team. And because Skeens is, again, probably going to be out of there by the 6th or 7th inning, I mean, it seems like too much of a price. And it's already down to minus 147, 68% of tickets, only 64% of the cash. So Pittsburgh actually public, basically just because Skeens is the starter here and Gallen has really ugly looking numbers this year. But Arizona still has the way better offense. So that's probably the way that I would be leaning. Although you do have to worry about Arizona, again, as I've talked about, their mental state since the Naylor trade, because that really made it clear that Arizona is not going for it this year, and they're actually selling this year. Colorado at Baltimore. Baltimore, after losing the first game of the series, they had a really good bounce back yesterday, and they won 18-0. Not expecting that to happen again. When a team loses 18-0, like Colorado did, they're probably going to come out with a little bit of anger here. That's not to say that they're going to really necessarily win this game, though. But I think Colorado's going to come out kind of in an embarrassed mood here, and Baltimore is certainly not a really trustworthy team. Baltimore does have the better offense, obviously, but the bullpens are both bad. So, I mean, that's something to take into account in this game, too. And I don't like either starter at this point either. Gomber is pitching for Colorado. He's not having a good season, which he started his season late, so it's a small sample size. But his numbers look pretty much as bad as all the rest of their starters. 6.03 ERA, a horrendous 1.66 whip. He's been better away from Coors Field, though. 3.86 ERA away from Coors Field, so at least he's been serviceable on the road. Although Colorado's lost 5 straight starts for him. To some extent, that's just because overall as a team, they're terrible. I mean, he actually, in his last 5 starts, he's only allowed more than 4 earned runs once. So that's not that bad, but that was his most recent start. Did have a 6-0 strikeout walk ratio in that one, though, against St. Louis. And overall this month, 15-4 strikeout walk ratio isn't that bad. So his command has been okay, but he's allowing a lot of hits. He's allowed a home run in every one of the last 4 starts. 32 hits in 19 2/3 innings and a 5.95 ERA this month. So even though he's not walking a lot of guys, he's leaving pitchers over the plate and getting hit hard. So that's not a good sign. Baltimore hasn't hit him that well, though, in 43 career at-bats, 233 batting average, 608 OPS, and a 12-3 strikeout walk ratio. So Gomber might actually do okay in this game. Baltimore has Tomoyuki Sugano pitching, and he is new to the major leagues this year. So I think early on he had a bit of an advantage to some extent because these major league hitters had never seen him before. But I think the major leagues, they're starting to figure him out, man. And he's not a hard thrower, which I know the age of the hard throwers is kind of like, I mean, it's to some extent gone. Like, you do need, like, movement and stuff. You need to be able to fool hitters because major league hitters have really focused on hitting the fastball recently, even though, of course, you still have the best pitchers in the league are guys that are throwing gas. So, like, Skeens, Skubal, Crochet, I mean, you know. But Sugano, I mean, he's more of a control pitcher. He's more of a pitcher that's going to try to fool you with off-speed stuff, but he's really fallen apart. His ERA is up to 4.54, 1.35 whip. That's not good. A little bit worse at home, 4.86 ERA here. This past month, 3 starts so far during July, I mean, not good. 7.53 ERA, failed to make it 5 innings in 2 of the 3 starts. 11-8 strikeout walk ratio. That's really bad. And the best start that he made this month was against the Mets. And then he had 2 bad starts against Texas and Cleveland, who are horrendous offenses. So very, very strange. He stepped it up a bit to face the better offense that he faced this month. Very strange. And he's facing a bad Colorado offense here. And Colorado's, you know, I mean, they've never seen him before. So I'm not really expecting Colorado to do a lot of damage offensively here against him, but he has not pitched well. So this is a game it's hard to figure out games like this, man, where you have bad offenses and bad starting pitchers. It's like, well, which one of them wins out when they're all bad? The odds makers are telling you that the hitting is going to win out here. The total, they threw the total up at 10. And it's actually gone a little bit towards the over, but then we have 54% of tickets on the over and now 66% of the cash on the under after that initial move. So the money seems like it is maybe coming back in on the under, but if the books are throwing a total out there at 10, they're basically telling you something, man. And this is not being played at Coors Field either, so a 10 is ridiculous. And that is also taking into account that the bullpens suck. Baltimore's a big favorite, too, and they're public. They're at bigger than minus 200 favorite here. I would not want to do anything with Baltimore on the side there. I mean, if anything, I would probably slightly lean back to like taking a run line with Colorado or something in that one. Dodgers at my Boston Red Sox. This is a game, man. I don't like either of these starting pitchers either, man. The Red Sox got the win yesterday. Garrett Crochet actually gave up 2 runs in the first inning and then held the Dodgers silent for the rest of the game. The Red Sox bullpen also got involved and held the Dodgers off the board at the end of the game. Red Sox bullpen is still the better bullpen. The Dodgers bullpen has been struggling quite a bit, so you got to still give the bullpen edge to the Red Sox, even though they had a little bit of bullpen usage yesterday. Starting pitching, it's really difficult to even tell you which one of these starting pitchers has the advantage because they both suck. Dustin May is pitching for the Dodgers. He's not very good. 4.73 ERA, 1.36 whip. He's been really, really bad on the road. 7.07 ERA on the road. 4 runs higher than what his ERA is at home. That's ridiculous. This month, he hasn't been great either. 7 walks in the last 2 starts with 8 strikeouts, failing to go 5 innings in both of them against weak offenses, San Francisco and Minnesota. So that's a bad sign. And the last start of June, he was actually also bad against a bad offense in Kansas City and only went 4 innings in that one. That was not good either. So 3 of his last 4 starts have been pretty bad. And had 1 good start mixed in there at home against Chicago, the White Sox, which is another bad offense. So May is pitching pretty badly against bad offenses. Against the Red Sox, they really haven't seen much of him at all. Only Bregman and Story have ever faced him, and they're combined 1 for 10 off him with a strikeout. But I don't expect May to actually pitch that well here, man. I mean, his numbers just are not good. So I'm not really expecting, even though he's unfamiliar to the Red Sox hitters, I don't think he's going to be fooling the Red Sox hitters to that much of an extent here. But I don't think we could trust Walker Buehler to any extent either, man. I mean, he's a guy, the Red Sox picked him up over the offseason, so the one advantage that he might have here, besides the fact that, as I'll point out, he is actually better at home this year, so there is that, but he might be pumped up just to face his former team, man. But the thing is, it wasn't a trade, though. He got picked up as a free agent in the offseason. But a lot of times you'll see a guy when they get traded or the first time they're facing a team that they were just on, which this is going to be his first time facing the Dodgers. He was on the Dodgers last year. Sometimes they get really pumped up to face that former team. So maybe that will have some effect on Walker Buehler here. But, man, Buehler, if you look at his career stats, I was saying the Red Sox never should have picked him up over the offseason. He has never come back from like the injuries that he's had. He was good early in his career, had some major injuries, and he's been awful since then. He's never bounced back from it. And it has not been happening this year either. His numbers are awful. 5.72 ERA, 1.52 whip. That's not good at all. He is better at home, like I said, 4.01 ERA. So the splits for these starting pitchers are very significant. Buehler, ERA like more than 3 runs better at home. So the splits for the starting pitchers actually favor Buehler over May. Buehler, I mean, I guess you could somewhat argue that he's pitched a little bit better this month. He has a 3 ERA this month, but he only has an 8-4 strikeout walk ratio. I mean, he hasn't been walking a lot of guys, so that's okay. So he's kind of making his name a misnomer finally and not walking as many guys as Walker Buehler. But his strikeout rate is really low. I mean, he's not really fooling guys, man. 8 strikeouts again in 18 innings. That's not really going to get it done, although he has gone at least 5 innings in all 3 starts this month, allowing 3 or fewer earned runs in all 3 starts. And the only loss that the Red Sox had there was not his fault, as the Red Sox didn't score really against Philadelphia. But I still don't trust Buehler at all. Against the Dodgers in his career, he does have good numbers, though. In 45 at-bats, he's on to a 200 batting average, 680 OPS, 10-5 strikeout walk ratio. Isn't that good? But almost all the damage has come from Freddie Freeman, who's 5 for 18 with 2 home runs and 3 of those walks. So if he can kind of pitch around him, maybe Buehler could do okay here. I mean, overall, I have a slight lean to the Red Sox here just because I think they do have the starting pitching edge, I guess, slightly just because of the splits. And the Dodgers having opened a road favorite here with May on the mound, I mean, I just don't really think that's justifiable, which it looks like the professional money also said that because the number already dropped from -125 to -109. So a pretty big money line move towards the Red Sox. And we do see the Dodgers being a bit public, 60% of tickets, but 61% of the cash right now. But to me, it still looks like the Red Sox got an actual like reverse line move there and that the actual money is favoring the Red Sox. And again, I do think they have the better bullpen. Dodgers do have the better offense, but the Red Sox offense is better at home, although their offense has been struggling for a while. So I do worry about the current state of the Red Sox lineup as well. And Marcelo Meyer is injured, by the way. I mean, it's not the biggest injury for the Red Sox, but he is one of their young, talented hitters, and he's going to be injured for who knows how long. So they are without him right now. All right, let's go to Philadelphia and the Yankees, one of the other big games of the day here. We actually get a pretty decent starting pitching matchup in this one. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the Yankees did lose again yesterday. So Yankees not playing well, but I'm not shedding any tears about that. Actually getting blasted in this series, man. They've given up 21 runs in the first 2 games of this series. Both games have gone way over the total. Which, wasn't necessarily unexpected either, though. Yankees not playing well. They might be in a kind of a situation where they're going to bounce back here, though, because, again, as a good team especially, you tend to be a little bit extra motivated to try to avoid that sweep, and the other team could potentially take their foot off the gas a little bit. As far as the bullpens, Philadelphia's bullpen is slightly worse, but I really don't like either of these bullpens very much. So I think if you're looking at this game, you probably want to avoid the bullpens. And we see a really low total on this. So if you're looking for like unders in this game, I would probably want to avoid the bullpens. Starting pitching, I mean, there's obviously a reason why the total is this low. Part of the reason is Zach Wheeler is pitching for the Phillies. He's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball this year and for multiple seasons, really. 2.39 ERA, 0.88 whip. He's been really, really good. Slightly worse away from home, 2.89 ERA, but still really, really good. This month, he's been insane with a 28-1 strikeout walk ratio, a 3 ERA. And if you go back to his last start of the previous month, his strikeout walk ratio goes up to 38-1 over the last 5 starts. That is unbelievable. I mean, you almost never see command numbers like that. That's crazy. And he's gone at least 6 innings in all 4 of those starts as well, allowing 2 or fewer runs in 3 of the starts and 4 in one of the outings against San Diego, which was the only loss, but we get it. Zach Wheeler is very good. His numbers against the Yankees are okay, but the Yankees do actually hit him for power. So the Yankees do not hit him very well for average, but they do have good power numbers against him. In 130 at-bats, he has a 42-13 strikeout walk ratio. It's a big sample size, so the Yankees have seen a lot of them. 238 batting average, so he's held him to a really low average, like I said, but an 877 OPS. Pretty high because of the 13 walks to the 42 strikeouts. It's a lot of walks, and the Yankees have 10 home runs off him, but 5 of them are Bellinger. So could be some player prop potential there. If you're looking for player props, I recommend hits plus runs plus RBIs instead of total bases because the walks can still get you something. And Bellinger is just raked against Wheeler for the most part. 6 for 15 with 5 home runs, but also 5 strikeouts. But that does mean that he has half of the Yankees' home runs against Wheeler. So if Wheeler is able to, kind of pitch around him because it's one bat, he's only going to see that guy so many times. Wheeler may pitch well in this game. Carlos Rodon is pitching for the Yankees. He's having a good season. 3.1 ERA, 1.05 whip. He's been better at home as well, 2.82 ERA at home, but he's been struggling a bit recently, man. He has a 4 ERA this month. You could argue maybe he was distracted coming out of the All-Star game. He had a lot of walks in that game out of the All-Star break, 5 walks. He did pitch in the All-Star game, and then he had kind of a bad start against Toronto. But he had a bad start 2 starts before the All-Star game, too. I think before it was announced that he was going to be in the All-Star game, in the previous start before that. So 3 of his last 4 starts, he's walked 3 or more. So his wildness has kind of been there recently. So that's not great. It means his command isn't really there right now. 16-9 strikeout walk ratio this month. So Wheeler is obviously the pitcher that's in the much better recent form. Rodon against Philly does have decent numbers in 72 at-bats. 26-3 strikeout walk ratio, very good. 250 average and 697 OPS. So you can see why, it's a low total here at 7.5. It looks like the money is coming in on the under. 60% of tickets on the over. 52% of the cash on the under. Again, if you do that, I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment, but I would not want to deal with the bullpens and go full game on this under. I would probably go first 5 innings. But then if you do that, you're looking at under 3.5. And there is the potential with these offenses like this, especially maybe Philly's offense, to get some runs here and do some damage. So I would worry about that a little bit as well. And Philly is public. 76% of tickets, only 69% of the cash. And they're laying a price on the road because you're going to pay a tax for Wheeler for the most part, up from -125 to -127. But it looks like the sentiment from the professional money here is probably that Philly is too much of a favorite as the road team here, which I said that yesterday and it still didn't work out. But you get the Yankees at an even more ridiculous underdog price in this game. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with it. I mean, I think with the Yankees, you probably do get a little bit of a bullpen edge and a hitting edge here, but I think Wheeler does have the starting pitching edge there. So Yankees full game is an underdog, though I don't really disagree with it. Tampa Bay at Cincinnati. I gave out the under in this game yesterday. It did get there. Cincinnati is on the verge of a sweep here. They've been pretty good, but the bullpens have seen some usage now, man, in this series. So I worry about the bullpens. They're both okay bullpens, but coming into this last game of the series, I would worry about the bullpens here. The starting pitching matchup actually looks better than you might think. Shane Baz is pitching for Tampa. I mean, he doesn't have very good numbers this year. 4.66 ERA, 1.3 whip, but he's been way better on the road. 2.91 ERA on the road. I mean, he has to pitch in Steinbrenner Field or whatever, Steinbrenner Stadium, which is a very hitter-friendly park, although so is this, Great American Ballpark. So maybe Baz will also struggle in this ballpark because it is also hitter-friendly, but generally he has been a lot better on the road. Recent numbers, he has a good strikeout walk ratio this month, 25-7, but he's walked 2 guys apiece in his last 3 outings. His last outing, he got absolutely bombed for 8 runs by the White Sox. That is not a good sign. That was another one of those starts at home, but still, it's not a good sign when you get bombed by the White Sox, and he's got a 5.79 ERA this month, but you could argue that maybe that was just an outlier because the other 3 starts, he went at least 6 innings in each of them. Going back to one start prior to that, actually, he had 4 starts in a row, allowing 3 or fewer earned runs. Pitched pretty well in those 4 starts and went at least six innings in every one of them. So he was pitching well until that Chicago White Sox start. White Sox, terrible offense, though, so it is a bad sign. But does that mean Boz is totally out of form now, or does it mean it was one bad start? It's tough to figure that out, man. Tampa has lost his last 4 starts, though. Against Cincinnati, he does have good numbers, though. It's a small sample size, 22 at-bats, but 7-1 strikeout walk ratio, 182 batting average allowed, and 536 OPS. So Boz has not been bad at all against Cincinnati when he has faced them. Brady Singer is pitching for Cincinnati. He has similar numbers to Boz, not great this year, 4.84 ERA, 1.39 whip. He's actually been better at home, even though this is a hitter-friendly park. He has a lower ERA, even though he's actually allowed more home runs in the stadium, although he has more innings pitched as well. But his home run rate is still higher in the stadium, but for whatever reason, his ERA is a lot lower. Lower opponent batting average significantly, too, but a 4.02 home ERA. This month, he hasn't been that good either, though. 17-6 strikeout walk ratio looks all right, but 7.56 ERA is not good. 2 of these starts, he did not make it past 3 innings, which is really bad, including his last start. He got absolutely hammered by Washington for 7 runs. Not a good offense there in Washington. Only lasted 2 1/3. Prior 3 starts, he didn't allow more than 3 earned runs in any of them, though. So it's actually crazy. Like, he and Boz have very similar recent numbers. The Reds have lost 5 of the last 6 starts for Singer, I believe is what that is. Against Tampa Bay, he actually has good numbers, though, in 37 at-bats. They only have 6 hits off of him, 12-3 strikeout walk ratio, 162 average, and 495 OPS allowed. So Brady Singer actually has decent matchup numbers as well. So in this game, I actually think the under in the first 5 innings might have some value here. I mean, the odds makers threw up a high total of 9.5 here, and it's actually gone up a little bit further. We see 68% of tickets on the over, 51% of the cash on the under. I would probably not want to deal with the bullpens, especially after it almost caught me yesterday. Bullpen's in a worse spot here. But these starting pitchers look like, even though their numbers are not good this year, they do have good matchup numbers at the very least. I worry about their recent form, though, so I'm certainly not going to give it out as a play, but if you can get, you can get under in the first 5 innings, probably even like at an under 5, maybe even, which seems like a pretty high number. So maybe that is, worth like just, kind of, I don't want to say chasing, but maybe worth like taking a shot on that. Toronto at Detroit. Detroit has been just playing awful baseball, man. They've lost now 6 more games in a row, losing again yesterday to Toronto. Again, they can't get it right, man. Skubal was on the mound, and they still couldn't win. Skubal got them 6 shutout innings, and Detroit still couldn't win. Their bullpen was atrocious in the game. The Jays got a good start out of Gaussman, who dueled Skubal into the bullpens there, and then that shifted the advantage to Toronto, as I mentioned yesterday, because Toronto did have the bullpen edge in that one. Although I thought Skubal would beat Gaussman in the game, so I thought Detroit would probably still win that game, but that did not happen. This game, I still give the bullpen edge to Toronto here. Wasn't a ton of bullpen usage yesterday. Toronto does have the better bullpen. They do have a little bit of the better offense right now as well. Scherzer is pitching for Toronto here, though, and he is certainly an old man right now. He's been okay this year. 5.14 ERA, 1.25 whip. Not great numbers. A little bit better on the road, 4.91 ERA. He hasn't pitched that much yet either. He's made 6 starts so far. He hasn't allowed a lot of runs. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 start, which was his most recent start against the Yankees, where he was still decent enough to hold his team in that game. They lost by 1 run, but he gave up 4 earned runs in that one. So he's not really pitching that terribly. He's just not going that deep into some of these games. He's keeping his team in the game at the very least. He has a 16-5 strikeout walk ratio this month, which isn't that bad. Good numbers against Detroit in his career, 42 at-bats, 14-2 strikeout walk ratio, 167 average allowed, 514 OPS. But again, Scherzer is worse this year than he has been really at any other point in his career. I mean, it happens fast, man, when you're old, so he might just not quite have it anymore. So I would take these numbers matchup-wise with a little bit of a grain of salt there for that reason. He might still do well, though. I mean, he hasn't been awful this year. Jack Flaherty is pitching for Detroit, and he's been more unpredictable than Scherzer. Jack Flaherty's more of a roller coaster, man. He can have some really bad starts and some really good starts. He has a 4.77 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. I mean, that's not good. When you're on a team that wins as much as Detroit has been winning, having a 5-10 record isn't good either. He's been good at home, though, 3.71 ERA, so he's been way better at home than he has been on the road. But he hasn't really been that good this month. I mean, he's not going deep into these starts, man. He's only gone more than 5 innings once. His team has lost 6 of his last 7 starts. He has a 4.66 ERA this month. 30-8 strikeout walk ratio is good, though. So his strikeout walk ratio is good. He does have good numbers against Toronto, too, and a pretty big 65 at-bat sample size. 23-6 strikeout walk ratio, 169 batting average allowed, and 486 OPS. So Flaherty actually has some good matchup numbers, too. So in this game, I'm almost thinking an under makes sense in this game, man. It's sitting at 8.5. We have 66% of tickets on the over and 62% of the cash on the over. So it looks like maybe a little bit of the money is on the under there. Detroit has moved up from -115 to -127. So the money is actually coming in on Detroit to finally break their loss streak here. And they will be motivated at the very least to try to do that and to try to avoid another sweep here. 66% of tickets on Toronto. Toronto's definitely a hot commodity right now. So you know the public is going to want to come in on that side. 59% of the cash on Detroit, though. But I worry a little bit about it. I worry a little bit about backing Jack Flaherty just in general. But maybe he does have the upper hand over Scherzer just because he is younger still. And Detroit is still pretty good at home. It's just you're having to fade some real significant streaks there if you want Detroit there. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I'm just going to stay away from it. J-Main, what's up, man? A pitcher for your fantasy team. You have Irvin, Ginn, Gomber, Elder, Kolek, and Hendricks. Holy crap. Those are some bad pitchers, man. Holy crap. Well, I've only talked about Gomber so far, so if you want to hang around, I'm going to show you all of their matchup numbers within the next I'm going to try to get this done within about another half hour, so if you can wait around for that. These are bad pitchers, man. I did already talk about Gomber. I would not go with Gomber. Let's just say that. I mean, there's a high total in that game. Yeah. Gomber, as I pointed out a little while ago, he is at least better on the road than he is at home. I believe Baltimore doesn't have a whole lot of history against him, so maybe he has a little bit of an advantage for that reason, but I would not want him. Oh, thank you, sir. If that means you're subbing, I appreciate it, man. All right, let's go to Chicago here. Man, I mean, the White Sox blew out the Cubs in the first game and then lost yesterday 6-1, so the Cubs got a little bit of revenge there. As far as the bullpen usage, the White Sox, I believe, used a lot of their pen yesterday. Yeah, they did. So the bullpen usage and just the bullpens in general, I mean, all of that is in favor of the Cubs here. Cubs have the better bullpen and the bullpen that's a little bit less taxed. The Cubs are going with Ben Brown here, and he's a guy who I keep saying is better than his numbers look right now. At some point, he has enough talent that at some point I think he's going to turn this around, but his numbers are really bad right now. 6.48 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. He's been even worse on the road, 6.8 ERA. Not pitching well recently either, giving up 14 runs over his last 2 starts and 9 innings pitched, including getting absolutely wrecked in his last start by Kansas City, who's one of the worst offenses in the league. That's pretty bad. He's allowed 6 earned runs or more in 3 of his last 4 starts. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if Ben Brown is really backable at all right now, even though his strikeout walk rate continues to be good. 4 strikeouts and no walks in that outing against Kansas City, but that was still a really bad outing. I mean, you allow 7 runs, 6 earned to Kansas City. There's definitely something wrong with you if you do that. The White Sox are also a really bad lineup, so he should, in theory, be able to pitch well against them, and they haven't seen him before. Only Michael Taylor has seen him before, and he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So Brown has an unfamiliarity edge here, too. So when the White Sox, already a bad offense, they haven't seen this opposing pitcher before, it should be an advantage to the pitcher. But Ben Brown is just pitching so poorly recently. I don't know if we could back him. Grant Taylor is listed as the starter for the White Sox, and he's a young guy. I mean, he has decent numbers this year, 3.93 ERA, 1.15 whip. Pretty good, 3 ERA at home. Problem is, he's a relief pitcher, man. So he's coming into this game. He's going to be an opener, dude. So even though he has been good out of the bullpen, and the White Sox have actually won most of the games that he's pitched in out of the bullpen, which is interesting because, a lot of times he's going to be probably coming in when the White Sox, when their starter has already set them back a little bit. I guess they use him in games that they're actually winning or close for the most part. But I don't know what we're going to get out of him here, man, because he's only going to be an opener here. So you're probably only going to get 1 to 2 innings out of Grant Taylor here. And then you're going to get an already used up White Sox bullpen that already isn't good, pitching 7 innings in this game or maybe more. I mean, that doesn't seem good to me at all. So, I mean, I would probably lean, honestly, I think an over makes sense in this game. The series has had some high-scoring games. The money is completely disagreeing with me, though. I don't know what is going on with the market here. The totals flip from 8.5 juice to the over to 8.5 juice to the under. 78% of tickets on the over. Public on the over here. 82% of the cash on the under. I don't think I would want to take that risk. And the line is completely plummeted on the Cubs, down from -200 to -157. I don't understand why that's the case, because you'd think that if the White Sox switch their starter and then announce, we're going with a bullpen game, why wouldn't the Cubs be a heavier favorite if that was the case? I don't get it. I don't understand why the line has moved like this. 84% of tickets on the Cubs, I mean, that makes sense to me. Obviously, the Cubs are going to be the public team. 74% of the cash on the Cubs, so less of the cash. So the market read is saying take the White Sox as an underdog here. I would not do that. I mean, with the White Sox, again, with the bullpen game, no thank you on that one. Oh, thank you, sir. You already picked up Ben Brown. I don't mind that, but, I mean, I don't think he's playable right now. Yeah, I see it as well. Yep. You like the Cubs as well. I mean, I expect the Cubs to still win that game. I mean, I don't really see it, although when it's a big favorite like that, professional money is going to partially come in on the underdog like that, saying we just think that there's value and that there's more of a chance that they're going to win this game than what the odds are telling you. So really you're saying we only think the White Sox are going to have like a 45% chance to win this game, although even that seems too high to me. The Yankees took some money. Yeah, I talked about that as well. They've taken some money. I definitely agree with that. Maybe a slight lean to the Yankees there, full game. I don't think they have the advantage in the starting pitching matchup, though. But later in the game, I think the advantage shifts to the Yankees. Cleveland at Kansas City is the other game that I was going to potentially give out a first 5-inning under on this. I do lean that way in this game. I mean, first of all, you have 2 really bad offenses, so that's certainly something to keep in mind. I wouldn't want anything to do with the bullpens because these teams played a doubleheader yesterday. Kansas City's bullpen is all right. Cleveland's, barely mediocre, I guess. But with the bullpens having pitched in 2 games yesterday, I would not want to deal with the bullpens in this game today unless I was going over, obviously, and then you're fading the bullpens. But under first 5 innings, I think, is the right way to look at this game. Joey Cantillo is kind of the question mark, though, and he's really the reason why I didn't want to actually give it out as a play, because I think he's a little bit unpredictable. 3.91 ERA, pretty good this year. 1.41 whip is not that good, though. He's been pretty good on the road, 3.12 ERA, but he's been in the bullpen, and then they just moved him to the starting role, and they've done well behind him. They've won his last 3 games, which I think were all games that he started. He's not going very deep into these games. He's gone at most 5 1/3 innings, but he is pitching pretty much successfully. He hasn't allowed more than 4 earned runs in any of those starts, but his walk number is pretty high, though, so I worry about that. This month, 17 2/3 innings pitched, 10 walks. That is way too high, even though he has a high strikeout rate, 23 strikeouts. So Cantillo is striking out a lot of guys. He's got to get this wildness down, man, and that is the one thing that really worries me about taking the under in the first 5 innings here, but that is still the way that I would go in this game if I was going to play this. Cantillo, 4.08 ERA this month. That's not that bad. He's faced a couple of weak offenses the last couple of times out. White Sox, Baltimore being the only home game. Although, like I said, he's actually been better on the road, and he's on the road here too. But he is facing another really weak offense here in Kansas City, and he has done well against them in a very small sample size. I think Kansas City has faced him when he's come out of the bullpen. 13 at-bats, a 231 average, 593 OPS. So Kansas City's hitters haven't hit him well when they have seen him. So Cantillo looks like he does have a little bit of a matchup edge there. And Noah Cameron, I mean, I like this guy quite a bit. So, I mean, he's the guy that I definitely don't have a problem with as far as taking the under in the first 5 innings. He would be the main reason to do it. He's been quite good in his rookie season so far. 2.61 ERA, 1.01 whip. He's pitching really well right now. He's been a little bit worse at home, though, 3.29 ERA, although that is still good. This month, he has a really nice-looking 27-4 strikeout walk ratio, 2.22 ERA. He's gone at least 6 innings in his last 3 starts, allowing 4 or fewer earned runs in all 3, and his team has won all 3, which is really saying something for the Royals because they don't score. And he actually was able to do that. 2 of those games were against the Mets and the Cubs, so he was facing some pretty good offenses there, still pitching successfully, and now he's facing a much worse Cleveland offense, and it's an offense that has never faced him before. So I think Noah Cameron does have the upper hand here against the Cleveland offense. Well, he's a talented young pitcher, man, who has not been seen before by the opposing hitters. The opposing hitters going to have to take some time to figure him out. So I like both starting pitchers here, and they are both lefties too, which I'd have to look up what both offenses do against lefties, although I would imagine it's not good. So first 5 inning under is the way that I look at this game. The total's down on the full game from 9 to 8.5 here. 62% of tickets on the over, 69% of the cash on the under, though. I think you'd still find an under 4 in the first 5 innings, and that is what I would do. I don't want to deal with the bullpens. Money looks like it's coming in on Cleveland a little bit. 61% of tickets, 75% of the cash. Kansas City down from -135 to -128. I don't see that. I don't really agree with that. I mean, Kansas City, they do still have the better of the 2 bullpens, and I think they have the better starter here. I mean, Cleveland does have the better offense, but both offenses are very bad. So I don't really understand the market move on that. I mean, I would probably be leaning towards Kansas City, but I think under first 5 is the better way. You want to go with Ginn today? We'll talk about him in a minute. I mean, Ginn is hard to predict, man, I would say, in today's game particularly. Sunday Fun Day, or Fun Day Sunday. Nancy, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Nancy, did you get the GIMP mask? I forgot to I forgot to look. I was going to send you, like, tracking info or something, but I'm an idiot, and it completely slipped my mind. Miami, Milwaukee, as I have in the title here, that's going to be the game that I'm going to actually have a play on. You already know what it is probably, so I'll get back to that. Let's talk about JT Ginn. All your pitchers we're talking about in these later games, man. You didn't get it yet? All right, I got to check on that. A's, Houston. Houston, they're just, they're on a 3-game slide right now. Man, they've lost all 3 games in the series, which is not something you would expect, especially losing yesterday with Hunter Brown on the mound. He didn't do that badly. He only gave up 1 run, I think, but he was really inefficient with his pitches, and he only lasted 5 innings. And the bullpen actually blew the game for Houston, even though Houston has the better bullpen over the A's, which I think is still the case, even given the, whatever the rest scenarios for the bullpens. I would still give Houston the bullpen edge here. Houston might come out a bit pissed off here, man, trying to avoid getting swept by the last-place team in the AL West here. JT Ginn is pitching, as we just mentioned. What are we going to get out of him? I don't know. 4.5 ERA in the season, 1.29 whip. He's been better on the road, 3.86 ERA on the road, and he's given up only 2 of the 9 home runs that he's allowed this year on the road. He's been giving up home runs in that ridiculous AAA stadium that the A's play in, so he is better away from that horrible A's stadium, so might want to think about maybe playing Ginn today. I don't know. He's basically only made one full start, though, which was his most recent outing. He went 5 innings, allowing 1 run against Texas. He doesn't strike a lot of guys out, but that was a successful start at least. But it was against a weak lineup. Houston's lineup is a little bit better than that. Last time he faced Houston, he didn't do well. He actually faced them 2 games in a row, though, I believe, out of the bullpen. And Houston got 2 runs off him in 1 2/3 innings the second time out, but Houston had just seen him, so maybe that was a case where after Houston had just seen him, they were just more familiar with him, and they beat him up that next time, because the other time he faced them, he went 3 innings and only allowed 1 hit and no runs and struck out 5, so he was good in that one. Overall against Houston, he has good numbers, but it's a very small 10 at-bat sample size. Houston only has one hit off of him, so whatever that other hit was that Houston got against him in that other game that Houston had against him, whoever that it was for Houston is not in the lineup right now. Houston has some injuries right now, man. So that's also something to keep in mind with Ginn. Houston has some offensive injuries here. And whoever's injured for Houston, they're not listed on this batter versus pitcher stats thing here. So I don't even know, but there are at least a couple of starters, players that typically start for Houston are, I think, out with injury right now. But 1 for 10 against Ginn, Houston's current lineup here in a very low 282 OPS. But it's such a small sample size. I don't know what there is to really take away from that. On Adams, Twins, no Buxton. Buxton is hurt? I didn't even know that. You bet on Ozzy's death? Yeah, I mean, we predicted it when it was Black Sabbath's last show, man. Versus righties, I can look. Well, Ginn is a lefty, isn't he? Let me see. I would have to pull that up, actually. Hold on. I can look at that if you want. Ginn is a lefty, right? I think. No, he is a righty. Why was I thinking he was a lefty? He is a righty. I mean, hitting versus righties. Hold on. Let me see. Astros versus right-handed pitching. I'm pulling it up on StatMuse here, but let me see. This year they are Houston, 257 batting average against righties, 718 OPS. I mean, okay numbers in this day and age. Houston against righties, not anything like spectacular, not anything bad. So, and then Colton Gordon is pitching for Houston here. He hasn't been that good. 4.53 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. Pretty bad at home. 4.78 ERA at home. Yeah, I mean, this month, he did have one short appearance against Texas, which I don't know what that was about. His other 3 starts, he's not going that deep into most of these games. He's going about between 5 and 6 innings. But this month, 5.82 ERA, 10-6 strikeout walk ratio. That's not good. He's not striking out a lot of guys. He's allowed 24 hits in 17 innings. That's not good either. His numbers against the A's are fairly good, though. In 17 at-bats, 235 average, 647 OPS, and he hasn't walked anybody. So he does have decent matchup numbers against the A's, but Gordon doesn't seem like he's very trustworthy here. So I don't know if this is really a spot where Houston's actually going to be able to get it done and avoid the sweep. Although if the game is close, getting into the later portions of the game, Houston does have the edge once it gets to the bullpens, in my opinion. And probably in everybody's opinion, because the A's bullpen is the worst in baseball. Houston down from minus 135 to minus 131, though. 66% of tickets, but 82% of the cash on Houston. So they are taking some of the cash, but starting pitching-wise, I'm not sure, man. I mean, I think Ginn could outpitch Gordon potentially. It's very difficult to say what we're going to get in this game. 62% K rate, 0.96. So wait, you're looking up their numbers as well. Last 7. Hold on. I'm looking at StatMuse because I do have a subscription to StatMuse. Astros versus right-handed pitching. Last 7 games. StatMuse gives you the last 5. The last 5, they have a 258 average, 654 OPS, 23 strikeouts in 99 plate appearances. That's Astros versus right-handed pitching in their last 5, it looks like. So I don't know. You want the A's money line? I would only do it in the first 5 innings, though. I mean, I would not want any part of their bullpen, man. That would be my opinion there. Washington, your boy Jake Irvin against Minnesota here. Minnesota beat Washington in the return home spot, which kind of surprised me. And then surprisingly, again, Minnesota lost with Joe Ryan on the mound. He gave up like 4 runs and they lost the game, which is not something I expected. I don't like either of these bullpens, and that might be a problem here for Minnesota because they don't even have a pitcher that they've decided on. So I don't know who's going to start. I don't know if maybe Festa is going to come in and start for them again. I don't know what their rotation looks like right now. But they might be going with a bullpen game here if they do. So Minnesota, and their bullpen hasn't been that good this year either. I mean, Washington's has been worse. Washington's bullpen is terrible. But if Minnesota is going with a bullpen game, and Washington's bullpen also sucks, and I don't really like Jake Irvin either, I'm leaning towards an over in this game, man, even though both offenses aren't really that spectacular. Here's Jake Irvin for you, a 4.81 ERA, 1.33 whip on the season, 5.34 road ERA, so he's worse on the road. He's been pretty bad this month with a 13-11 strikeout walk ratio, at least 3 walks in 4 of his last 5 starts. He is out of control right now, dude. Irvin, he's not pitching well at all. His command numbers have been really bad recently. 5.23 ERA this month. I would not trust Irvin coming into this game at all. Minnesota has 18 at-bats against him. They have a 444 average. And this is, Buxton is listed in here, though. Is he actually not playing today? Because ESPN, if there's an injury, they actually do take the guys out of the lineup card here. So I don't know. Buxton is listed there, but at any rate, including him, he's 1 for 3 off of Irvin with no extra base hits. But Irvin has a lot of 444 average, 1,085 OPS to Minnesota's hitters. Even if you take Buxton out, the numbers are still pretty much the same. Oh, yeah, A's money line, you said. Sands on DraftKings. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but okay. Adams, wait, I'm not sure what you mean, Jay, man. I don't do as much with props, so. Oh, so maybe they're giving Buxton rest or something. I don't know, because ESPN does it based off of their active roster, basically. But to me, I would go over in this game, even with Buxton not in the lineup. I think over is the way to go in this game. It's already flipped from 9.5 juice to the under to 9.5 juice to the over. So that's some indicator there. I don't really see the percentages yet here. Oh, it's Sands. Oh, there you're right. You're right. Cole Sands is pitching for Minnesota, so we can look at him, I guess. Minnesota's down from -180 to -157. Some of that move is probably because of the starting pitcher announcement. But it does look like Minnesota is the public side, 73% of tickets, only 53% of the cash. So it does look like Washington is kind of an anti-public side there. If I did Washington, though, I would probably limit it to first 5 innings because I just really don't want any part of Washington's bullpen. Let's look at Cole Sands here real quick. Thanks for pointing that out, man. I just saw him. There he is. Cole Sands. I mean, he's a relief pitcher, it looks like. 4.29 ERA, 1.24 whip. Not very impressive. Similar home road splits. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, so right. So it's going to be a bullpen game. So he's probably going to go 1 or 2 innings in this game. So Minnesota, their bullpen already not doing that well. Doesn't look that good to me, man. Sands probably only going to pitch a little bit in that game. I mean, I guess we can look at his batter versus pitcher stats here. Washington only has 2 hitters who have seen him before. Lowe has a hit off him. They're 1 for 3. 2 walks as well. DeJong and Lowe both have a walk against him. 333 average, 933 OPS. Again, I mean, my opinion is the over is the way to go in that game, though. The Twins game, yeah, right. So Sands, is the starter there, yes. San Diego, St. Louis. St. Louis won the first 2 games of the series and then lost yesterday, which I'm pretty surprised, man. I can't figure any of this out now. Vasquez for the Padres yesterday against Liberatore. Neither pitcher even made it 5 innings in the game, and then the Padres wound up winning, partially because their bullpen is the better bullpen. They used some of their better relievers yesterday, but, I mean, I still probably give the bullpen edge to San Diego a little bit in this game, though. Both teams' bullpen usage is pretty similar, but I don't like Steven Kolek, man, for the Padres. 4.28 ERA, 1.32 whip. I mean, all right, he has actually been way better on the road, though. 2.35 ERA on the road, which makes no sense because San Diego has a pitcher-friendly park, and his ERA is over 9 at home. I can't figure out Kolek at all, man. I don't think he's good, though. This month, his numbers were pretty bad. 7.36 ERA in 2 starts this month. 7-2 strikeout walk ratio. I mean, nothing really spectacular here. He's not going very deep into games. The Padres have lost his last 7 starts. Padres have been struggling for a while now, man. Since they started off really hot at the beginning of the season, they're actually a below 500 team, and they're below 500 on the road as well. Kolek against the Cardinals, not good, but it's only 7 at-bats. It's a very small sample size, but they have a 429 average and 929 OPS with no extra base hits, 1 walk. So I don't really think you could trust Kolek in this game, man. I probably prefer McGreevy, the Cardinals starter here, who does have good numbers this year, and what I think is his rookie year, maybe. Let me see. Well, kind of. He made 3 starts for the Cardinals last year. 3.49 ERA, 1.02 whip. McGreevy, worse at home, though. 4.96 ERA at home, so he struggled more at home. Did have a decent outing at Coors Field last time out. 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run, but he only had 1 strikeout. He didn't walk anybody, so he's not walking a lot of guys. His strikeout rate is low, but his walk rate is also very low. So he's not walking a lot of guys. He's not striking out a lot of guys, and he's not giving up a lot of hits. So overall, he is pitching pretty effectively, though, this year, and his team has won his last 3 starts. And San Diego, whose offense has actually been struggling for quite a while now, has never seen McGreevy before. So McGreevy might have a little bit of an extra advantage there, again, because the Padres have actually never faced him before. So I'm probably going to be leaning first 5 innings. I would lean to St. Louis here. I don't know if I would want to do it full game, though, because I do think San Diego still does have a bullpen edge, even though they used some of their best relievers yesterday. Money is coming in against St. Louis, though, on the full game, down from -130 to -120. 59% of tickets, 68% of the cash on San Diego. So the money is coming in on San Diego. First 5 innings, I would lean to St. Louis, though, at that particular starting pitching matchup there. Zach, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. A different Zach, right? We have multiple Zachs here now. Is that right? Am I getting that wrong? I forget what each Zach's last name is now. One of the Zachs is the Royals fan, Zach. And then, I don't know. Do we have multiple Zachs, or is that you, Zach? I apologize. Maybe I'm having another stroke or something. Atlanta at Texas. Texas is on a roll right now. 5 wins in a row. I told you I liked Texas in the first game. I should have given it out as a play. I mean, Eovaldi maybe was not 100% in that game, but it was still definitely enough for Texas to get that win. Texas yesterday won in a walk-off in 10 innings yesterday. Texas had a lead early in the game, blew the lead, which kind of surprises me because Texas's bullpen is actually fairly good, pretty good. They wound up winning anyway in 10 innings. Atlanta, I mean, I just don't see Atlanta being in a very good spot here, man. I mean, Atlanta used more of their bullpen yesterday. Rangers have the better of the 2 bullpens anyway, so the Rangers have a rest advantage in the bullpen and the better bullpen. You got to give the bullpen advantage to the Rangers. Atlanta does have the better offense, but it's not by that much. And here's your man, Bryce Elder. Oh, you are the Royals guy. Oh, okay. Why did I think your last name was something else? I apologize. Yeah, Royals. I talked about the Royals a little while back. Noah Cameron pitching today, man. He's pretty good. Elder, well, I don't know about Elder yet because I'm just saying I don't like Atlanta's bullpen here, but I don't like Elder at all anyway. But 5.63 ERA. Now, I mean, that's not to say that you shouldn't play him here because he is facing a weak offense. So 5.63 ERA in the season, though. 1.55 whip. That's not very good. On the road, 4.71 ERA, though. So he is better on the road than at home. This month, 4.86 ERA, 13-7 strikeout walk ratio. He's walked at least 3 guys in 3 of his last 4 outings. That's not a good sign. So he's wild. He's walking too many guys. That's not good. So Elder, not exactly in great form. I've never really trusted him, but maybe you do want to potentially consider Elder here because the Rangers only have 3 batters who've ever seen him before, and they're only 1 for 6 off him, which that one hit is a Seager home run, but still. They have a 167 average, 833 OPS is high, but again, it's a very small sample size, and it's entirely because of that home run. So I wouldn't rule out Elder as maybe potentially being a play here, man, because the Rangers' park is a little bit more pitcher-friendly, and the Rangers' offense is not very good, and they haven't really seen Elder before. So I think the advantage that Texas has, I think, might become more Texas might have more of an advantage late in this game with the bullpens. Jack Leiter is pitching for Texas. He's a hard thrower, man, harder than his father threw, but his numbers are kind of iffy this year. 4.27 ERA, 1.36 whip, not great. Better at home, though, 3.94 ERA at home for Leiter. Leiter this month, nice strikeout rate, 18 in 15 innings, but he's allowed 7 earned runs for 4.2 ERA. That's not great, and 10 walks this month. So his walk rate is way too high. So he's throwing hard, but he's walking too many guys, man. So Leiter, he's got to get that under control. The one advantage he might have here, besides the fact that he pitches better at home, is that the Braves have never faced him before. So Leiter might actually have a decent edge over the Braves hitters early on in this game because they haven't seen him before. Again, that is an advantage to the pitcher the first time the hitters have to face him. So Overall, I would have a slight lean to Texas in this game. Where are they at? They're up from minus 118 to minus 126, although they're public. 78% of tickets, only 77% of the cash here. So the cash is kind of against it. They are public, but I mean, if you do like Atlanta, you're going to have to go against Texas's current win streak, and baseball is a streaky sport, so you got to keep that in mind. It looks like, as far as the total, I mean, the total's fairly high. It went up from 9 juice to the under to juice to the over, but 81% of tickets, only 69% of the cash on the over, which is kind of indicating maybe some money a little bit on the under here. I'm not quite sure that I would agree with that. It's pretty difficult to say, man. I mean, you could take a shot with Elder in your fantasy lineup here. I don't like Irvin, so, I mean, I would rule out Irvin, to be honest, but I don't want to be wrong about this. I mean, I haven't played fantasy baseball in a long time, though. I was in a league, I was pretty good at it, and I was in a league, for a whole bunch of years up until not too long ago. I basically just play fantasy football now, but I did do baseball and basketball as well for quite a while with some of the same guys. It was a lot to keep track of, though. So you said Ginn. Yeah, I mean, Ginn, I wouldn't really rule out Ginn or Elder, maybe. And then I forget who else you said you have here. You said you have Kyle Hendricks. I don't know if I'd rule Hendricks out either. We can talk about Seattle and Anaheim here. Anaheim, I mean, the one major disadvantage Anaheim has, besides the fact that I do think Seattle does have a better offense than Anaheim as well, and especially if Naylor is there now. And Seattle actually has been really good offensively on the road, so Seattle's offense does have an edge here, but Anaheim's bullpen is the huge disadvantage they have here. Anaheim's bullpen is terrible. Anaheim lost yesterday 7-2. Again, I would not trust Anaheim's bullpen. As far as the bullpen usage, there was not a lot of usage from the Mariners side, so again, disadvantage goes to the Angels with the bullpen. Starting pitching, I still think Seattle has an edge in the starting pitching matchup as well, with Logan Gilbert pitching. 3.07 ERA, 0.98 whip, very good to have a sub-1 whip. He is worse on the road, though, 4.91 ERA on the road. A lot of Seattle's pitchers are worse on the road. He's in good form recently, though, with a 2.01 ERA and 4 starts this month. Seattle's won 5 of his last 6 starts, 31-7 strikeout walk ratio this month. So Gilbert is in good form right now. He is pitching well. Decent numbers against Anaheim, kind of mediocre. 83 at bats, so it's a big sample size. 20-1 strikeout walk ratio against him is very good. 265 batting average, not bad. 768 OPS, a little bit high. He's allowed 5 home runs to them, 2 of them from Ohapa. But other than that, I mean, I expect Gilbert to probably pitch pretty well in this game. He's the better, more talented, and younger pitcher over Kyle Hendricks, who I haven't liked Hendricks for quite a while, man, although he's not doing that badly this year. 4.92 ERA, not great. 1.29 whip, a little bit high as well. But he's been a little bit better at home, 4.38 ERA at home. So J-Main, Hendricks is better at home. His recent form is not very good, though. He's failed to go 5 innings in his last 2 starts. 7-2 strikeout walk ratio over that span. He's not walking a lot of guys, so at least there's that. But he's allowed 3 or more earned runs in all 3 of those outings. A 6.59 ERA. That's not good at all. The numbers are the numbers. Yeah. Last 5 is a zigzag. As far as his the wins and losses have been zigzagging for Anaheim. Yeah, but I'm just looking at how he's pitched in those games. Which is, he's been bad pretty much every start this month, really, so that's not great. His numbers are not that bad against Seattle. In 43 at-bats, 256 average allowed, and 682 OPS, so he actually does not have horrible numbers against Seattle, but he is in bad form currently. The money, finally, we don't see money coming in on Anaheim. I think we saw money coming in on Anaheim in each of the first 2 games in the series, and I kind of said I didn't agree with either of them. The money's coming in at Seattle, but they're up from minus 148 to minus 160. So even though I do think Seattle is the right side in this game, that seems like a little bit of a high price to be paying, man. 78% of tickets, 81% of the cash coming in on Seattle. I still agree with it. I mean, I could see laying a Seattle run line in this game because their offense does do well on the road. So that's probably the way I would look in that game. He's a gas can. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Ginn is actually the way to go here. Houston's offense has been struggling a little bit, but, I mean, what other free agents are there for you there? I mean, I guess you have to limit it to who's a free agent, who's actually pitching today. So you probably are looking at the ones who are all, the like reasonable options that you have. And then Mets, San Francisco is the ESPN Sunday night game. San Francisco, I believe, is trying to avoid getting swept here. They've lost the first 2 games of the series. So San Francisco lost again yesterday, 2-1. Mets used some of their best relievers yesterday. Giants used some of their relievers as well. So some of the best relievers on both sides have been used up. Probably the bullpen advantage generally would go to San Francisco here. Probably still does. But I don't know if that is going to really help San Francisco that much because I believe they're going with a bullpen game here up against Kodai Senga. So it does not look that great to me for San Francisco to avoid a sweep here. Senga having a really good season here for the Mets. 1.79 ERA, 1.18 whip. Really good numbers here. On the road, very similar to at home. His numbers are almost the same. His last 2 starts, though, so he's trying to come back from injury. So he was injured for a month. So they've actually limited his pitch count over the last 2 starts. He's only gone 4 innings and 3 innings. The Mets actually have still won, going all the way back to before he was injured. The Mets have won 6 starts in a row behind him. This month, he's been a little bit iffy, though. Again, returning from injury, so he should get better. But he does have 5 walks in 7 innings and has allowed 4 runs so far, with all 4 of those runs coming in his last outing against Anaheim, though. So he actually did a little bit worse that second time out. I expect him to bounce back a bit, though. I mean, San Francisco is a pretty weak offense, so I don't think Senga is going to necessarily do badly here. His numbers are pretty good. Small sample size, though, against San Fran. 20 at-bats, 4-4 strikeout walk ratio is not good, but 200 batting average, 633 OPS. So I kind of expect Senga to pitch pretty well in this game. And Matt Gage is the listed starter for San Francisco, and he is a relief pitcher. And people might look, oh my God, he has a 0 ERA, which, yeah, I mean, that's impressive. But, I mean, he's been a reliever, so you're going to get San Francisco's bullpen having to pick up the slack here in this game. 1.14 whip. His numbers are good, but, I mean, he hasn't pitched that much. I guess he was on Detroit, and then they traded him away. San Francisco has lost every game that he's appeared in for them since they've gotten him, although he hasn't allowed a run, obviously, so it wasn't his fault. He's pitched well for San Francisco out of the bullpen. San Francisco just can't hit, and they've been losing all those games. Against the Mets are 0-for-3 with a strikeout off of Gage. But again, Gage is probably going to be out of this game after the first couple of innings, man. You're probably going to get maybe 2 innings out of this guy, I would guess. And then San Francisco's bullpen, even though it is a really good bullpen, they're probably going to use one of their long relief guys or whatever to try to bridge the gap there. But still, I don't love San Francisco in a spot like that, man. It basically means they're not using their best pitchers here, even though it's the Sunday night game, and they're going to be trying to avoid a sweep here. But the money has come in on San Francisco. The Mets are down from -145 to -117. 78% of tickets on them, but 55% of the cash coming in on San Francisco. Again, I don't really understand that. I mean, maybe I'm just too old school. I don't like these bullpen games, even though, again, Giants do have a good bullpen, but they used some of their better relievers yesterday. Senga, even though he's trying to come back from injury, he should go deeper than Gage in this game. So I think that gives the Mets kind of an edge out of the gate there. So I don't really agree with that line move. Although maybe the feeling was, well, the Mets are just too heavy of a favorite there. Yeah, I mean, maybe Ginn is the right way to go there. Anyway, that has been the rundown for me. I always forget to put the graphic up. And then we're going to go with our best bet segment here, which, as you know, is only one play that I have today, and it is in the game I didn't talk about that's in the title here, and you already know it's an under. Miami, Milwaukee, under the total. That's what we're going with here. I'm not too concerned with the bullpens here because the bullpens didn't see a ton of usage yesterday, and Milwaukee's bullpen, after a really rough start to the year, they've actually really improved. They're actually the 10th best bullpen whip-wise now, though their ERA is a little bit higher than that, but they're still a decent bullpen. Miami's is in the mid-tier as well. I mean, their ERA is at least below 4 as well, so I think the bullpens could help keep us in this game here. Milwaukee actually hits better on the road than they do at home, so Milwaukee, even though their offense is decent, they might be held in check a little bit because they are playing at home. Hitting-wise, Milwaukee, I mean, where are they at? I think they're actually somewhat mid-tier here, right? Where are they at in the hitting stats here? Miami's 18th, and Milwaukee's actually 20th in OPS. So we're looking at actually mid-tier offenses here, too. So I think that's fine as far as the under is concerned. And you know, as part of this under here, I like the starting pitching matchup, man. Yuri Perez, I mean, this guy seems like he is back, man. I mean, he's been really good recently. He's a guy who started out his career really young in the majors at the age of 20, 2 years ago. Pitched really well, and then he got hurt, and I think he had at least one Tommy John surgery. And now he's trying to come back from that. He's really kind of turning into his old self again. This year, really good numbers overall. 3.23 ERA, 0.97 whip. He's been slightly worse on the road, 3.47 ERA, but not going to hold that against him. This month, he's been excellent with 1.17 ERA, 26-3 strikeout walk ratio. Miami had won 4 starts in a row for him before his last start, where he was a little bit shakier, only went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs against San Diego, but that's still not even that bad. Did have 2 of his walks this month in that game, but Perez, I mean, I don't think he's about to fall out of form or anything like that. He's been good, and we have only 11 at-bats for Milwaukee against him, so some of Milwaukee's bats haven't even seen him before. In 11 at-bats, he's allowed 2 hits. He has 6 strikeouts against them, has held him to a 182 batting average, 455 OPS. So I know it's a small sample size, but with a young guy like Perez who's pitching really well right now, Milwaukee, their hitters that haven't seen him before might struggle against him, and the guys that haven't done that well against him at all. Very high strikeout rate against him. So I like Perez here, and I like Brandon Woodruff on the other side even more. Woodruff, I think, is a guy that kind of got forgotten because he was injured as well. He missed an entire season. So this is the battle of 2 starting pitchers that missed the entire year last year. So I think they're guys that are still flying under the radar a little bit here, even though, of course, the books did put out a very low total in this game, so not really flying under the radar that much. But I still think it's going to happen. I like it. Woodruff, really good so far since he's come back this season. 1.65 ERA, 0.55 whip. I mean, he obviously can't keep that up, but he's been really, really good. Not as good at home, 4.15 ERA, but I think it was one start where he just wasn't as good. In that home start against Washington, he still had 10 Ks in that game. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. Overall, so far this season, he has 23 strikeouts and no walks. And he's only allowed 3 runs, all on solo home runs, by the way, which is really crazy. And 9 hits overall in 16 1/3 innings. Oh, man. So Woodruff, I think you can absolutely trust him. He seems to be all the way back, and he has dominated Miami. In 34 career at-bats, they have 2 hits off, and one of them is a home run from Heriberto Hernandez. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but other than that, he's absolutely dominated Miami. 34 at-bats, again, just those 2 hits, 12 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 0.59 batting average and 233 OPS. So I actually think we're looking at 2 dominant pitchers here who are not named pitchers. So I like the under. I found it at under 7.5 with a little bit of juice on that. I think you might have to go under 7 now, maybe, but it looks like it's down a little bit from 7.5 to 7 with juice on the over. So you might still be able to find the under 7.5. I would pay up to about -120 to get the under 7.5. If you can't find that, I would still probably go under 7 in this game too. 7 is the key number in baseball because it's the run that you need to break a 3-3 tie. So if you go under 7, you're risking, if it lands right on 7, you'll push instead. But that's not, the worst thing that could happen. 58% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the under. I think this is a strong play. It looks like it has a strong market read on it here. For some reason, Milwaukee's dropped from -185 to -150 on the money line. 83% of tickets, 85% of the cash. Milwaukee is public because they've been so hot recently. Everybody saw what they did against the Dodgers, so they are going to take the public action for the most part. I think the public is completely overlooking Yuri Perez, and the odds makers are basically telling you they think this is going to be a pitching duel here, and that is what I'm going with. So I really like both of those pitchers. I like the under in that game there. Oh, Nick Kurtz isn't playing today? Oh, no. He had another good game yesterday. I thought that he was a fade yesterday in the prop market after he exploded the game before that, but he did pretty well yesterday, too. He was 2 for 4. Diamondbacks took some money there. It looks like the cash percentage is still on Pittsburgh, though, but I talked about that game right at the start of the show, and I recommended under in the first 5 innings in that game is what I recommended in that game. But it looks like the money is kind of going against that now, so I'm kind of glad I didn't actually give it out as a play, but that's kind of how I lean. You're going on the Phillies run line. Don't factor your bias in too much, though, man. I mean, do it for fun. If you're not going to risk too much money on it, I mean, do it for fun. But I kind of disagree with Philadelphia in that game. It looks like my read on this is still that Philadelphia is a public road team here and that the cash is going against them. But Wheeler is better than Rodon. I mean, if I was going to go Philly, though, I would probably limit it to a first 5-inning play, which that's what I talked about early in the show. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Dude, I appreciate everybody in the chat here. A lot of action in the chat today. J-Main, good luck with your fantasy day and your bets today, man. Hopefully it all goes well. My play, one more time, is the under in the Marlins Brewers game. A little bit boring, I understand. It's the only play that I have today, but I like these pitching duels, man. So that's what really gets me fired up. I'm like, oh my God, I love these two starting pitchers. Let's go under, baby. The Undertaker, that's me. And maybe I'll be the one who dies and I'll have to meet the Undertaker. But that's going to do it. Learn to Toad on Twitter from me. Learn to Toad on Instagram, where I post Bettor Off Dead content there as well. I just do short form. I put out what my plays actually are. YouTube, Bettor Off Dead. Of course, you guys are watching me here. Thanks for everything, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's blow this thing up, man. And I'm also on the audio platforms as well with Bettor Off Dead. I also have a ukulele project. Covered in Uke is the ukulele channel. I post all the stuff that I post on Twitter. I'm now double posting on that Uke YouTube channel as well. YouTube channel as well. Covered in Uke is where that is. And you can support my Patreon, patreon.com/learntotode. And at the higher levels, you get some bonus Uke content right now. You can request stuff from me, and you get at the highest level, and you get a Spotify feed with all the Uke covers at the mid-tier level there as well. So, it looks like that money line is just zigzagging back and forth, man. The Phillies, it seems like maybe there's some disagreement among some of the professionals, however, because the game is about to start and it's one of the more popular games of the day, I would worry that some of that late line movement is actually the public coming in, so I don't trust anything that the public does, although I don't know that the public would move the line that much in baseball, really, in general. The public really only has the ability to move a line significantly in, like, NFL games for the most part. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I've been somewhat bad recently, so, I'm on a 1-5 run right now, so hopefully that turns around. I was hot going into the All-Star break, and now I'm on a bad slide coming out of the All-Star break. It pisses me off because generally baseball has been my second best sport. I've been doing this for 18 years. NBA has been my best, and baseball has been my second best. So I don't know, man. Miami and Brewers under in that game on the full game, is what I recommended in that game. I think it's going to be an absolute pitching duel in that game, and I think the bullpens can keep us in check in that game as well in that one. Both offenses actually kind of mediocre in that matchup there. That's going to do it. Again, Learn to Toad, Bettor Off Dead, covered in Uke. Thanks, guys. Have a safe and happy and non-blasphemous Sunday. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.